This is Career Coaching X's and O's, and I am your host, Mark Anthony Peterson, the founder and thought leader at Sierra Consulting, a small business strategy and technology consulting firm. A small part of our practice is executive coaching. These episodes are the summations of some of those sessions. Today's episode, the 5 holiday office party do's and don'ts. The holiday season is upon us, and soon you will be attending your company's holiday party. I'm going to give you 5 things you shouldn't do and 5 things you should do to make that a successful event. First, the do's. Number 1, have that 15-second elevator pitch speech ready. You might just get caught in the serving line with your boss's boss who will ask, "What are you working on?" That critical moment when you can now lay out in 15 seconds all the things that you're doing that are going to impact the company. 15 seconds, no more. It is a holiday party, and you don't want to turn it into a business session, but you do want to show that you're having an impact on the company. Your goal in that 15 seconds is to make a mark. Leave them wanting more and wanting to know your name. Number 2, dress the part. I hate when I come to parties and people are underdressed for the occasion. I recently attended an event with my wife for the board of directors for the contracting division at the university. All the major CEOs were going to be in attendance. I knew I needed to dress the part, and I did. Came in dressed like a consultant. The best suit, polished shoes, hanky in the coat pocket. Within 5 minutes of my arrival, everyone that was on the board came over and introduced themselves to me. They thought I was a new member of the board. My plan worked. I got a chance to network with some CEOs who had already made investments in the university in new technology, and I got a chance to talk to them, engage them, and drop the name of my firm. I dressed the part. If you're listening to this podcast, I shouldn't have to tell you that coming dressed where you reveal too much or dressed in a gag outfit won't help your career. So I won't tell you not to do that. That's something you should already know. Number 3, know the names of all the senior executives and make sure you know something about the company and the history of the company. One of the most disturbing things I've ever seen was a basketball player who was being honored and he knew nothing about the history of the sport, knew nothing about the titans who made it possible for him to stand there on the stage and accept that award. I've seen it in baseball. I've seen it in football. I've also seen it in people who work for great companies and don't know the story about the founding of the company. Holiday parties are part celebration of the season, but also celebration of the success of the company. And the old heads within the company will get together and reminisce about the good old days. And if you know nothing about the history, they will assume you don't have a vested interest in the future of the company. Number 4, have your wingman networking plan straight. In episode 4 of this podcast, I gave you 7 ways to promote yourself without bragging. One of those ways was to have a wingman or a wingwoman promote you in the office, especially in meetings. They bring you up and they celebrate the accomplishments that you've made to the company so that you don't have to bring them up. An office party is the perfect time to coordinate that plan with your wingman or wingwoman. Make sure you work it out with them, that they network with the people you want to have an impact on. You do the same for that wingman or wingwoman. They may have 4 or 5 people that they want their name dropped to. Coordinate that plan and work the room. Number 5. This is a very important one that I stress all the time. Book an Uber or a Lyft to and from the office party for you and your wingman or wingwoman. You don't want to mess around with drinking and driving and ruining your career or possibly ruining your life. Book it to and from for your entire party. Your wingman, your wingwoman, the person you're bringing, so you don't have to worry if that one drink is going to impair your ability to drive. Because you're not going to have many more than that, right? You're listening to this podcast. You're going to make it to that corner office. So you're not going to have 3 or 4 drinks and run the risk of saying or doing something that's going to kill your career. And since we're on that topic, this is the perfect time to segue over to the 5 things you shouldn't do at the office holiday party. We just mentioned number 1, don't drink in excess. I know at least 3 people who've ruined their careers by drinking too much at a holiday party. One was an HR manager who happened to have one too many drinks and thought she could really dance. She followed up her dirty dancing routine by groping several males on the dance floor. The next day, she was without a job. Don't let that be written on your corporate tombstone. You had too many drinks at the office holiday party. Don't drink in excess. Number 2, and this is probably 1A along with don't drink in excess, don't skip the event. Please. In particular, for a moment, I'm going to speak directly to African Americans. Many African Americans will skip social events, office parties, because they have something better to do, or they feel like people are going to spend most of the party prying into their personal lives. If that's how you feel, get over it and get to that party. Why? Social events are part of corporate life, the corporate family, because everyone else sees the corporation as part of their family. If you don't show up, share, and network with others, then you aren't part of the family. Managers sometimes inadvertently favor people that have the same life experiences that they have. Not necessarily the same skin color, life experiences. Kids attending the same school, wife going to the same college, same sororities, same fraternities. If you don't show up and share those nuances about your life, they only know you as employee 24/37. They don't know you as Mark Peterson, the guy who just had a kid, who runs marathons and loves to paint. All of that fills out who you are and makes you part of the family, so people can root for you. So don't skip the event. Number 3, this is important. Don't flirt. Don't use the office party as the opportunity to try to get a date. This is not that time. This is the time for you to map out your strategy to network with people in a social setting that you don't get an opportunity to network with on a day-to-day basis. Many of you aren't going to get a chance to have dinner with the senior executives on a weekly basis. If you ever want that to happen, use the holiday party as a chance to start that conversation. Don't use it to try to catch up with the guy or gal 3 cubicles down from you. That can wait. Number 4, don't bring someone to the party who does not appreciate the company culture. And that can be on many levels. If you work for a tobacco company, don't bring someone who's an activist. And if you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, don't bring someone who wants to be the life of the party, who wants to have 4 or 5 drinks and really blow off some steam. That's going to reflect on you and may hurt your chances of getting promoted. Be smart about who you bring to the party. Finally, don't be the life of the party. Don't be the person in the middle of the dance floor break dancing, and your company's culture is one that's really conservative. Instead, as I mentioned earlier, make sure you network. Make sure you work the room. Make sure you meet 2 or 3 new people that you've never spoken to. I made that a practice whenever I attended holiday parties, and I met some of the most outstanding people, some of which I convinced to join my group and bring some much needed skills to help me deliver projects that were demanded by the company. Never would have met them, never would have gotten to tap into those skills if I did not work the room. I wasn't trying to be the life of the party, and I wasn't trying to be a wallflower either. I got out and met new people, and it worked out for me. These have been the 5 do's and don'ts of the office holiday party. I hope you found this episode helpful. If so, hit subscribe. Share the show with your friend. Like the show and leave us comments. Tell us the issues you're struggling with in your career, and we will research it, and we may even do a podcast about it. If you need more support in your career, please find us on the web at Ceyero.com, Ceyero.com, and let us help you develop a plan for your career. Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Ceyero Consulting. This has been Career Coaching X's and O's, and I'm your host, Mark Anthony Peterson, founder and thought leader at Ceyero Consulting.